let me just do a quick recap of what we have, what we're trying to achieve, so that we'll be able to follow along well. So in the last class, I sent us a particular data set, and I said basically we're going to be looking at a proper data analytics, say like a mini project, and we said that would introduce us or usher us into our pivot tables and pivot set like that. What is the thought process? Okay, so let's say for instance now that you have a data analytics project and you are given some certain requirements. Okay, most times they ask you for some requirements and you can easily meet those requirements. Just go through the requirements and find a way to answer or meet those requirements. It could be requirements about visuals they want on a dashboard, or certain insights they want to get from the analysis. Okay, but in a case like this where there are no requirements, then you can just, off the top of your own head, see what kind of analysis can you do based on the columns in the data. Okay. Another thing I usually do is I tell ChatGPT that, oh, Alpha or Bros, I want to analyze data, and I need I need you to generate some questions for me to answer. Okay, so I'll just give ChatGPT the names of the columns I have in the data. So order ID, date, time, email, customer name, gender, city. I just give it the names of those columns and I'll tell it, okay, so generate maybe like 10 questions for me to answer using data analysis, and it goes ahead and give you some questions. Okay. But in the last class, we generated some questions ourselves, some basic business requirements ourselves. So we are evaluating the sales performance based on this data. And we're going to be looking at the sales performance by quite a number of um, variables, the categories of the product, the product name, the state, the country, the gender, the customers, months and years as well, and some other ones like that. Okay, but this time around, we said before you can proceed with analysis, except you know that the data is clean. Okay, you have to go to the data and see whatever it is you can clean in the data. Okay, and the idea of cleaning data is simply you spot the error. What technique are you going to use to treat the error or to fix the error, and you apply the technique. Okay, so it's not as if you already know what to meet. You're just going through the data carefully. Okay, trying to spot any errors that you can spot. All right, so you can divide your process into steps. Maybe you want to check for null values first, or you want to check for standardization, or you want to check for inconsistency or inaccuracy in order to fix those certain errors as well. So we were able to clean and transform this data, the primary table, into this in the last class. Okay, so now we have the sales data and we have the products data. We have the products data. On the products table, we have the detail of each product that the company offers. Okay, we have the detail of each product that the company offers. So each product just appears once here because it's a product table. All right, so these are the products that they sell the company. But I need to bring those columns this table, into this table. And why do I need to do that? Because Can someone help me with that? I think we mentioned that in the last class. We need to bring the columns here, but why are we doing that? In the last class, can you help us with, because we said we're going to use VLOOKUP to get those columns into the table and all of that. So why are we doing that? We said we needed to do that to get the sales price multiplied by quantity, yes, to help in calculations for each category required. Good, good, beautiful. So we're going to get all those columns into this table, and we said we're using VLOOKUP. So it is required that we make use of named ranges, isn't it? We said we're going to make use of named ranges in the data. So what we're going to simply do here is we're going to make use of a defined table. We're going to make use of a defined table in this place. Okay, we'll use a defined table. So I'm going to convert this data. I'm going to convert it by pressing Ctrl T. Now you can see my cursor for my selected cell is in a cell that has data in it within this range. I won't come outside and click Ctrl T. Okay, you need to take note of that. So my cell is anywhere in this range. It can be in this cell, it can be here. So far is in a particular cell that contains data in my range. Okay, within this data area, I'll press Ctrl T, T for table, because I want to convert it to a proper Excel table. So it will ask me create table. Yes, my table has headers. That is correct, because the first row of my table are the column headers for each column. So this is correct. I'll leave it ticked and I'll click OK. Do you see that? So I'm going to come up as soon as it converts it to a table. I won't click anywhere. At the top left corner, you'll see table name. Table name, because now a new tab has been inserted for you. If you look at this place at the top of your screen on your ribbon, you see that you have a new tab. You see that you have a new tab, isn't it? And the tab is called table design. Okay, so you are going to make use of, so you are going to make use of this table design to do whatever it is that you want to do. So this table name, we're going to change it. We're going to change it from table one. We're going to call it products. Product underscore. I'll type in underscore. Okay, the character underscore. And I'll say table. And press enter. So this is called product underscore table. You see that? So beautiful. Now I'm going to come to the sales data. And in here, okay, I want to get all which columns: product name, category, unit price, and unit cost. Okay, those are the columns I want to get. So I am going to come to my sales table and I'll start. Let's get the product name first for each one of the products. Okay, product name. So I'm going to title this column product name and press enter. And I'll say equal to VLOOKUP, right? And what will my lookup value be? what will my lookup value be in all of these columns? What will my lookup value be? So my lookup value cannot be customer ID, okay? And it cannot be order ID. Why? Because my lookup value has to be something that associates this sheet to the next sheet, and that's the product ID. So it is for each product ID that I want to get some certain details. All right. So, comma. What is my table array? My table array is that entire table where I have the details concerning my products. Okay. And if you remember, we named that table what? We named it product table. You see this? We named it product table. So we're going to select this. We have product table, comma. Now for the column index number, we're going to get the product name. We're going to get other details as well. Okay. So on the product name, we want to get, sorry. So we want to get the product name. We want to get the category. We want to get the unit price. We want to get the unit cost as well. Okay. Now, we can get each one of them one after the other. Okay. But I've taught you that already. Okay. So, and to beat time, we're going to get, we want to get these 4 columns: product name, category, unit price, and unit cost. And in the last class, we saw that we could get that easily. I said in the last class, in our VLOOKUP class rather, we saw that we could get that by just, giving the column index number, isn't it? But since they are in a range like this, 1 and 2, I have enough space to get all the columns that I require at once. So I'll just do it at once, okay? So follow along. So I'm only showing you this because I've shown you how to get for them individually. And 2, in this instance now, in this case, we have enough space that we require to get all the columns. So I'll start with my VLOOKUP formula equal to VLOOKUP. My lookup value is this product ID for this particular row, comma. My table array is the product table, isn't it? Product table. And if you remember, the product table is that table that we named on that sheet, right? Comma. Now my column index number is going to be 2 for product name, isn't it? But I don't want to get only product name. I want to get product name. I want to get the category. I want to get the unit price and the unit cost. Okay, so I'm getting 4 columns. Okay, so because I'm getting more than 1 columns, I won't put just 2 like this. What I will do is, you have various kinds of brackets. Okay, so the one you are going to open now is the curly brackets. There's one bracket that is curly. Okay, it is curly. So I open the curly bracket and I'll give the column index number for all the columns I want to grab. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm grabbing 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I close the curly bracket, comma. Then I say, oh, exact match, and I close the normal brackets and press enter. So as soon as I do this, you'd see that it did not only get the product name. I also have the product category, I have the unit price, and I have the unit cost. Okay, So once again, it is the curly brackets that you are going to make use of. Okay, this is the formula. Okay, so once you give your lookup value, which is the cell K2 in our case now, comma, then the table array is the product table. Remember, we had a table of data on the product sheet that we converted into normal table, and we named that table product table. So that entire table is our product array, right? And comma, then in here, I put in the numbers for the column I want to get. So I put in the number that I want to get, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma, and then false. Okay, as the lookup type. Okay, so the lookup type is exact. That's why I put false here. So once you do this, it gives you all the data, all the columns that you want to get. So we have the product name column, we have the product category column, so this is category, and this is unit price, and then this is unit cost. Okay, so I'll come back to this first cell, this product name cell, where I put in the formula. Okay, and then I'll double click this bottom right corner, double click. Or I think we have to highlight the entire range first before double clicking. Double clicking does not work. Should have known that. Double clicking does not work in this case. You said we can drag down. Do you know where we are going to? We are going to column, we are going to row number 1024. So imagine you are doing like 100,000 rows or 500,000 rows. What would have happened? Okay, so why did that happen? Very good question. It happened because we are making use of an array here. Okay, what this is saying is that we're not getting just one cell. We're getting range of cells, which is an array. Okay, so you cannot just apply that formula downward. Okay, it won't. So what I should have done is this. Okay, uh there are two alternatives. The first one is to do them individually. Okay, or I treat it as a table. I treat it as a table. Now, what do I mean? Let's see. Let's try another approach. Okay, I don't want us to just remove this idea from our mind. So I will remove that product name and the other things. I'll remove it out. I'm not getting them. Okay, what I'll do now is this. You know, my table stopped at quantity on this sales table initially. My table stops at quantity. Now I am going to press Ctrl T on this table, click any cell in the data and press Ctrl T. So I want to convert this range to a table. Okay, so it says, where is the data for your table? This is the range. My table has headers. I'll click OK. Okay, so I want to see if this would work, because whenever you use formulas on a table, okay, it applies it for all the rows in that column automatically. So I want to see if this will work. If this approach works, beautiful. If it doesn't, then it means we have to resort to doing it one after the other. So let's see. Products. So in this next column, I want to get the product name. Good. And in the next column, I want to get the sorry. So in the next column, I want to get the product product category. This column now, product category, or just a category. Okay, you can see as you're creating the columns, it's adding it to the table. As long as you don't leave any empty column in between the table and the new column you're creating, okay? Then I want to get the unit price and then the unit cost. Okay, unit price, unit cost on this table. Okay, so come back here. Now in the product name column, you will see what happens now. Because this data has been defined as a table, okay, when we even converted it to table, we did not rename it. That's an error on our part. We're supposed to have renamed the table. So let's quickly rename the table, okay? Click anywhere on your table. It could even include these empty cells, okay? Because it's also part of the table now, all right? At the top, you will see table design. At the top, table design. Click on table design. And then under table design, on the left-hand side, you'll see table name. So let's call this one sales underscore table. So sales underscore table. Okay. Now we're going to get the product name by saying equal to VLOOKUP. The lookup value is this cell. Now, if I click on this cell once, you will see what it will bring out. Click on it once. You can see that in there, it puts in product ID. It says at product ID. It does not use the cell reference again. Okay, it is because this is now a defined table. Okay, not just any range of cells again. It is now a defined table. So it says at product ID, then comma. Then my table array is which table? The product table. So I'll say product table, comma. Column index number, I'll give that array in curly brackets 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll close the curly bracket, comma. Range lookup type is exact match. And I'll close the normal bracket and press enter. So it gives a spill error. Beautiful. 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 So there's a spill error, okay, which means the formula won't work with a table format. All right, the formula won't work with a table format. So it means we're going to have to go along with getting each column one after the other. Okay, so we're going to get each column one after the other. So I'm going to undo that formula, and in here, instead of giving the array, somebody said I should make it bold. Okay, let me make it bold. So in here, I'm going to change it from this array. So the column index number, I'll just put only 2 in there. Okay. I'll put in 2 and I'll type enter. So it gets for the product name, and you can see it does it at once automatically without any stress, anything like that. Do you see that? Okay, so we have the product name. So we'll go to the next column and get the category. So equal to VLOOKUP. The lookup value is our product ID. When I click on it, it gives me product ID. Okay, it's because of this. That's the reason why the table can replicate the formula at once. Comma. Then the table array is our product table. Product table. Comma. Then the column index number. So for category, the column index number is 3. Comma. Then the range lookup type is exact match. And I'll close my bracket and press enter. So you can see it fills down the column at once. Okay, it does it at once. All right. So that's one of the benefits of having your data as a table before using your formulas. So you won't have to double click that bottom right corner to just do it at once. What does spill error imply? Okay, so the spill error usually occur when a formula, okay, a formula that is meant to return multiple values. You remember I told you that formula that we use using the curly brackets, okay, it's returning an array, more than one value. Okay, so range of cells is what is returning. Okay, so when that formula cannot display the values in the designated cell, then it occurs. So what happened is that the table, because I converted this data to a table, all right, it was not able to spill the data into the empty columns because the feature as a table is preventing it from doing so. If it was a normal range, it would have tried to spill it into other empty columns. But if you have data in those columns as well, it will return a spill error, even though it's not a table. So what happens is that each column in your table, okay, even though it looks as if it's blank, it will tell you it is not blank. You cannot just spill any data into it. All right. So that's why the spill error occurred. And that's the reason why we're doing our VLOOKUP individually. So this one now, VLOOKUP equal to VLOOKUP. My lookup value is the product ID, comma. Then my table array. You can see when I even say product ID, I click on this cell K2. Okay. It's because it is now a table. That's why it gives me like this. So my table array is product table, comma, our column index number is 4, comma, range lookup type is exact match, close the brackets and press enter. So I have the unit price, and then quickly, let's do the unit cost as well, equal to VLOOKUP data cell, comma, product underscore table, comma, and then column index number is 5, comma, range lookup type is exact match. Close the brackets and press enter. Beautiful. So now I have the necessary columns I require from that second table. I now have them in here. Okay, which is a very good thing. So let's proceed. Let's proceed. So what else are we getting? What else are we getting now? We want to get the duplicates. Yes, we're going to remove duplicates as well. I was thinking of getting all the required columns that we need, then remove duplicates. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove duplicates now on this data. Okay, let's go ahead and remove duplicates now. So we have this data as a table. Just click anywhere on your table. Go to table design at the top. All right. And then you'll see remove duplicates. So because it is a table, it's easier for us to remove duplicates. So go to your table design at the top, and then you'll see remove duplicates under tools. So click remove duplicates and then click OK. So it tells us 23 duplicates values found and removed. 23 duplicates values found and removed. So 1,000 unique values remain. So mean we have 1,000 unique records. Okay. Now click OK. All right. So now let's go ahead and get the other columns. Some people said the columns, what other columns do we require? We want to get the sales amount, and we also want to get the profits as well. Okay. So let's get the sales and let's get the profits. Okay. And I don't want helper columns. Okay. I don't want helper columns. What do I mean? I want to get the sales directly. I want to get the profit directly. Not that I will first calculate something before I can calculate sales. I'll calculate something before I can calculate profit. No. Okay. So this column, we're going to call it sales. And what is the formula we're going to use? So the unit price is how much the product was sold for. The unit cost is how much it cost the company to purchase the product. Okay, or to manufacture the product. So this is the company's cost incurred per product, per unit of that product. This is the price they sell the product for. Okay, so what is the formula for the sales amount? Okay, so it's a simple mathematics formula. You are multiplying quantity times unit price in order to get the sales. Okay, quantity times unit price in order to get the sales. I see some of you saying sum if. Sum if, I remember stating that you use the sum if when you want to specify, or you want to check for the total amount, okay, for a particular category. But I'm not checking for a total amount for a particular category. I'm not even summing any range of sales. Okay, I want to get the sale amount for this sale. So I'm multiplying the quantity times the unit price in order to get the sales amount for this sale. So the next one as well is to multiply quantity times unit price in order to get that sales amount. So in here, I'll put in my formula equal to, I will click on the quantity. I'll say times, I'll click on unit price. So once I press enter, to do for the entire table at once. You see that all the way to the end. Can you see? So back to the top. Now, the next one we want to get is profits. So what is the formula, mathematical formula we're going to use to get profits? I want to get it at once. So just give me one formula to get it. But we are yet to calculate the total cost. Yes. We don't need to first calculate total cost before we calculate profits. Okay, we can do it all at once by simply subtracting the unit cost from the unit price and then multiplying it by quantity. Okay, so two mathematics formula that we can use. We can say, oh, sales minus the multiplication of quantity by unit cost. That is one formula we can use. Or we can say unit price minus unit cost, the answer multiplied by quantity will have the same thing. Let's see. So equal to sales minus what? The multiplication of quantity and unit price. But it has to be in brackets. So I'll open normal brackets. Open brackets. I'll click on quantity times unit cost. And I will close that normal bracket and press enter. This can give me the profit. This is one formula that can give me profit. Okay. Or if I say another column for, let's call this profit 2. Another formula you can use is equal to, I'll open normal brackets and I'll first find the difference between unit price. So unit price minus unit cost. I'll close the bracket and I'll say times quantity. Okay, and press enter. So you see that I have the same answer. So anyone you pick is fine. So I'm going to delete this. Okay, whichever one you pick is fine. There's no problem. So I'll just delete this column and then I'll proceed. All right, so now we have all the required columns that we need to proceed with our analysis.
Endeavor to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you. See you in our next class. Bye.